Karanopadhiruchyate. So he has just ended in 2 words that's all. Because there is nothing to talk about it. She says, avidya is anadi anirvacha. These are the only 2 descriptions about this third fortress. It is beginningless and it cannot be described. It cannot be explained. It is beyond all explanation, it is beyond all words. And this is what is called the third limiting adjunct, which is called the causal body. Karanopadhi. Karana means the cause. Because basically it is because of this ignorance we get the body, and it is because of the body we are having all sufferings and hardships. So the root cause is this. So this is called the causal adjunct. An adjunct which is the root cause of all our troubles. And he says, Upadhiskritaya dhanyam atmanam avadharayet. Now, you are identifying yourself one after another with these fortresses. And that is why you are unable to find your own self. You are able to see the fortress, you are not able to see yourself. Because you thought that I am this gross body. And so, your gross body is mixed up with this body only. This body sense, you are unable to separate it. Alright? During the dream, you are only in your subtle body. The gross body doesn't function. And again, you have identified yourself that subtle body. The king in the dream, you are that. You have considered that I am the king in the dream. So naturally you have identified yourself with that subtle body during the dream. And thirdly, when you are asleep, you identified yourself with that darkness which was there, and naturally you are not in a position to understand, because that is the stage where the mind didn't work, nothing functioned, none of the indriyas were functioning, and you were in deep darkness, the darkness of ignorance, and you identified yourself with that deep ignorance. So, you try to eliminate all the 3 fortresses and then try to ferret out yourself, which is apart from all these 3 fortresses. Demolish all the 3 fortresses, then what is left, that is you. And with this we stop today. Very good. It is not something which can be taught from outside. It is not a page from a book. It is something which you have to realize, which you have to experience for yourself, and it is an experience which will completely make a metamorphosis of your entire life, because you could never imagine what you were, and you see that you are that unlimited being with infinite possibilities. It is something marvelous. It is something beyond our wildest of concepts, in the wildest of imagination. And how do you realize? The Guru can only help you in a way. Antenna is the one which is required to catch the knowledge. And you require a mechanic to install that antenna in your house. But the mechanic cannot make it work. He cannot make the waves come into it. He cannot make you see that. Well, it is all that. It is an internal process. Similarly, the Guru is only limit. The rest is left to you. You have to find it is your own rupa, it is your own form, and you expect somebody else to come and take it out and show it and say, this is you. No. We have to do it for ourselves. So he gives us the techniques as to how we can go about it. It can only be done through vichara. Vichara means a continuous contemplation. For that you should know, you should see things which you have never bothered to see. We have been seeing the world, we have been seeing the newspapers, we have been seeing the TV. How many of us have turned our attention to our body? As to what it is, and how it is helping us, or how is it hindering us in our job. We are not bothered to do all these things. And I'm sure many of us have never had an idea that we possess not a single body, but we possess three bodies. No doubt one is euphemistic, it is not a body as such, but still there are supposed to be three bodies. How many of us have thought about the subtle body? We daily sleep, we daily dream. Have we ever sat for half an hour one day and thought about it? What is this process of sleep? What is this process of dream? How does it come about? Have I got any hand in it? Can I control it? Has anybody given any thought to such things? We have been taking things for granted and thinking that the waking state is the only state, more or less like. And this Atma Bodha gives us a beautiful introduction as to the technique. The technique is first to find out, turn your attention to your body. Going into your thoughts, going into your mind is an ultimate thing. Start with the gross body. Start with your subtle body. And then find out what are the various impediments which are hindering you against the perception of something which is self-evident, which is always present, which is everywhere present. And that is something which you are unable to see. So he said that about the three bodies, which are along with the various senses and organs. Then we get all the more pessimistic. We say, oh my Lord. So this Atman is somewhere inside this entire big mixture of the body, with all the five prana, and with all the 10 indriyas, then mind, then buddhi, and as we are unable to see that, obviously it is mixed up somewhere along with them, and it is not mixed up in an ordinary way because it seems it is part of the buddhi. It is part of our mind because you don't see the Atman separately. But then they say this mind is being activated by the Atman. The body is being activated by the Atman. All the senses are being activated by the Atman. Where is the Atman I am able to see? A child naturally takes it that the electricity is part of the entire bulb system. It doesn't know that the electricity is absolutely different and separate from that bulb. It can any time go out of it. It is in no way cycle. But in the similar way, just like a child, we are not aware, we think that this Atman is perhaps mixed up inextricably with our senses, with our body, whether it is a subtle body or whatever is the body, and then how can we ever separate it? It will be a difficult job. Yes, if it was a mixture, you can separate it. There are two things. In chemistry, they call it a mixture and a compound. The example of the compound is the halwa. How do you prepare halwa? So you bring those broken wheat, what you call as suji or rava, whatever you may call it. And then you boil the water, you pour it, and then when you boil it, you add the sugar syrup and all these things and various other ingredients. And the entire thing passes through a chemical process and then it becomes a halwa. When once it has become one mass of halwa, will you be able to separate separately the granules of sugar which you put in it separately, the granules of rava which you put separately, or the essence which you put separately, will you be able to separate them? It is a chemical process, it is an irreversible chemical process, and you won't be able to separate the ingredients. On the contrary, in some of the hotels, locally, especially in Tamil Nadu, you will find they will give you something called a mixture. There are various types of eatables. they're all mixed together, they're all there. Now at any time, you can separate each one of them. Because in a mixture, they are not integrated themselves into one whole. They are all lying separately, though mixed up, and with some efforts, you can separate them. So now, as the same question is being raised by the aspirant, well, if this Atman is going to be mixed up in the entire buddhi, senses, mind, dasha, and the 5 pranas, and the 10 senses, how can I ever remove it? Because he has said, on the 13th, 14th, he says, Upadhitrataya dharmam atmanam avadharaye. It is something absolutely separate from the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body. So don't think that it is mixed up with them. It is separate. So it only refers to eliminate the rest of the things. It is only a mixture. It is not a compound. It has not undergone any chemical process. Atma can never become part of a process. Atma is alone by itself. So it is easy to separate it with proper contemplation, proper meditation. So some of them here are all meant for meditation. We have to sit, we have to think over them. This is not a story to be gone through. Within 15 minutes saying, oh, Atma, I finished yesterday itself. 50 shlokas, I finished at one stroke. No, that won't do. Each one of them, you have to contemplate, you have to think. And it is, you cannot contemplate on it by taking any commentary. No, you have to think of it. It only gives you a basis, the commentaries and all that. But you have to think deeper into it and go into the deeper consciousness. So we come to the 15th. Panchakochati yogena tattanmaya ivastitaham shuddhatma nilatatradi yogena sphatiko yatha. Now he makes it further clear because it is not a question of 3 bodies alone. As I told you, within these 3 fortresses there are 5 mini fortresses and the Atman is inside the 5th one. These are not separate fortresses. Each fort is inside one, just like the sheath, just like the scabbards in which a sword is kept. You keep it under 5 scabbards. You take one and then one sheath comes. Take off that sheath, another sheath comes. So you have to go through the process of eliminating all the 5 sheaths. Out of these 5 sheaths, what happens is, what are the 5 sheaths? How they are related to these 3 bodies. Which one of them is kept in which body? The 5 koshas of these 5 sheaths we have already discussed in detail about it a few days back. And it was also discussed perhaps in Hastamaghiyam, when or in the Guru Stutis, everywhere it has been covered. The 5 koshas are in short. What do you mean by the kosha is covered? Scabbard means they are all part of your external equipments or the internal equipments. And as you do not know who you are, you have taken for granted that I am one of those things. Initially, what do you think? When somebody asks me, who is this Shankarananda? He comes and asks, who is Shankarananda? I say, this fellow, he is sitting here with his body, with his beard, and with his mustache. So I am trying to identify myself with this gross body and or what is called the matter. And that is what is called the first fortress, Annamaya Kosha. So long as you identify yourself with this body, you are subject to all the miseries, all the pain, all the agonies, all the authorities, all the spondylitis of the body. And you think it is I who am suffering. I do not suffer at all. It is the body. The one who says the I is the pure consciousness. The consciousness cannot have any pain. Consciousness is just like an electricity. If you throw a stone into the bulb which breaks, it doesn't make the least scratch on the electricity. Electricity can never be harmed. Electricity can never be injured or wounded. And similarly with the Atma. So, what we think is the pain
Atma is introspect, it is thinking that I am this because of the close connection. It is thinking I am the body, so it begins to weep. The one who got the beating was the hand, the one who beats is the Atman. This is what you call a second hand suffering. Then sorry, it is not the first hand suffering at all. The one who got the beating cannot weep. The one who beats never got that experience. That is how it is. So, the second kosha, the first one is called Annamaya. Annamaya means the gross body which is made up of matter. That is this body. So, alright. Supposing by some means you try to find out, so I can't do this. Then the next one is called the Pranamaya. Pranamaya means, and maybe it is vital breath. The breath which goes inside with all that cosmic energy which is imbibed from the atmosphere, and is that which is going and is lending its power to all our tissues and cells and the blood and everywhere. So it is very vital to us. So the second one is called as vital sheet. So we may think that we are that, because what happens is, this prana has got two qualities. Thirst and hunger. These two are the qualities of the prana. They are not of the Atman. Atman has got nothing. Atman doesn't have a stomach. See, Atman cannot feel any appetite. So any appetite it will be felt by the prana, the vital breath, because the vital breath has to be reimbursed from time to time externally too. It is not what it is observed directly is not sufficient to nourish ourselves. So it has to buttress it by certain things which has to come up from these other things also. So sometimes we identify ourselves with the prana. Oh, this prana should be the Atma. And suppose you somehow get out of that sheet, you say, no, I can't be the prana. We come to the next, later on, how it is eliminated, we'll talk in detail the next one. So here I am only mentioning what are all those 5 sheets. So, Annamaya, the second is called the Pranamaya, made of vital breath. And then the third one is called the Manomaya, made of the mind. The fourth one is called the Vijnanamaya, made of intellect. What is the difference between the mind and the intellect? I have already told you, the mind only gets an impression of what it is seeing. Now I am seeing the fan. So what it does, the mind senses waves. The waves go and envelop the shape of the fan, and that's why I am seeing the fan. And this is how it is described. The mental waves, they go and they envelop it, and it has got a shape of its own, and that shape now I am able to see. But the mind cannot recognize it. The mind doesn't know that it is a fan. It just gives you some impressions of shape and all that, that's all. Now the intellect takes over. It is the intellect which is guided by the archives of the memory known as Chitta, which has got the computer is the memory. So it just taps up the information, the data from it, and then it says, oh, this is fan. So the decision, the determinative factor which determines as to what is this, and that is the intellect. The mind only puts it before you. It is just a class which can only put up the paper under consideration, the so-called PUC before us. And it is the intellect which takes the decision, which recognizes the problem as what it is like. Then, finally, as I said, we have got the last one which is more difficult, which is the most subtle, and that is called the Anandamaya Kosha, the sheath of bliss. It is all Ananda only you will get, but not that final Ananda, not that infinite bliss which is devoid of any admixture of sorrows and sufferings. No. But what is this sheath? Now what happens is, temporarily, on certain things, you get a temporary joy. You just go hear a concert, a music concert for 1 hour. Oh, it's all a divine music. So you are enthralled by it, you are sitting there, and you got a joy for full 1 hour. The moment you come back home, you get telephone calls that your office has been set on fire, you run, so the entire joy is gone. So you got that temporary joy, it is just a drop of the infinite bliss which you have in the reservoir. As you are analyzed due to certain conditioning, you are able to enjoy some droplets here and there. So similarly, I get a pizza, somebody has brought me some beautiful pizza. Somebody has brought me some macaroni. Somebody has brought me something else to eat, something very nice. It is a long time I have not taken from Italy. They have brought me my favorite spaghetti. Oh my Lord, it is a long time I have never had spaghetti. It's so nice. So you like it. But how long? Does that happiness last for 48 hours? Does it last for 24 hours? Gone before it has reached the stomach. Over, it's finished with it. There is an hour or two. So these temporary joys and pleasures, they are all coming out of that sheep. And the prominence of that sheep is known to us. You can't normally recognize it when you are awake, but you recognize it when you are asleep. When you are asleep, when the mind doesn't work, when the senses do not work, then everything is at rest. Then you find some immense happiness. Such an immense happiness, if for 2 days continuously you don't get sleep, you go to the doctor and say, sir, prescribe me some copper tablets or some tablets. I am unable to sleep at all. What does it matter? You don't sleep but you look well enough. You are able to do your work. Continue. Why not? Why are you so much worried? We are worried because we got some infinite bliss at that time. We are practically very near that ultimate bliss. But unfortunately, that bliss is not pure. It is admixed with that ignorance. That ignorance is just waiting like your coat on the coat stand. The moment you come out of the party, the fellow takes your coat and puts it on you. So in a similar way, all the ignorance, all the conditioning of the world, it is all waiting there. The moment you wake up, the world comes, the I thought comes, the entire world comes, your inhibitions come, your love comes, attachments come, your conflict comes, everything comes. So, what is the use of that happiness? So that happiness is really limited. So we want unlimited happiness. So we have to get out of all these five. Then he says, these are the 5 purposes. Here, the gross body contains the first kosha, known as the Annamaya kosha. The first sheet, which is called the sheet of matter, it is identical with the entire gross body. Then, the second one is this subtle body. So, this subtle body consists of the mind, the intellect. They have defined what does this subtle body consist of? The 5 pranas and mana, buddhi, the kshetriya, the 10 senses. We have already defined. So as such, the manomaya kosha is there. That is the sheath of mind. The sheath of intellect is also there because that mind and intellect are more or less the same. There is only a functional difference. There is no constitutional difference. Then, this pranamaya kosha, that is also in that only because it is subtle. You can't see this. The pancha prana, they also come there. So that this pranamaya kosha, the manomaya kosha, the vijnanamaya kosha. That is the sheath of vital breath, the sheath of mind, the sheath of intellect. All these 3 sheaths are contained in the subtle body. Subtle body is the most important. It has got 3 purposes. Even if you conquer one, the other 2 have to be conquered. And one is inside the other. You penetrate to the first, then the second one is waiting. Penetrate to that, the third one is waiting. Then you have to penetrate, take out the tongue. That is what we have to do. So, then the last one, that is in the sleeping state, So that is avidya. That is the third one, the causal state, the causal body. So the causal body is identified with the last bliss known as the sheath of bliss. That is the Anandamaya kosha. So these three bodies have again been subdivided into the five koshas, and then he says, look here, even though these are fortresses, a man who lives in the house, he has got nothing to do with the house. He can walk out at any time. He is not part of the house. He is not part of the bricks. He is not part of the mortar. So you can separate him out. It should be possible for you. So this is what he says. Pancha koshadi yogena taptanmaya ivastita. When it is working, very near these five koshas, because the Atman is, there is no place where the Atman is not there. The Atman is in the very presence of these pancha koshas. They are in proximity. They are in the nearness of it. So naturally, when the mind works, you say that I am working. When the mind is thinking, you say I am thinking. You are not thinking. It is the mind who thinks, and you are only the witness of these thoughts. But we don't make this distinction because of identification. That is what is happening. You don't distinguish between the mind thinking and your thinking. It is the mind which thinks and you are conscious of it, you are only the consciousness. So there are two different functions which are taking place, of which we are not aware of. Only when you contemplate, meditate on it, then you will know that I am not the mind. All these thoughts are all being seen by me. I know what I am thinking. So as said, I am not the mind. We should be able to separate ourselves away from those koshas by your own thought process. So when they are nearby, when the pancha koshas are working, we think that the Atman is working and I am working. That is the only thing. This is so. We are not mixed up with it, we are separate from it. How? She is going to explain through an example which we have come across at least several times so far. That is the Upadhi. The Upadhi is, as I had told you, there is a beautiful white crystal, transparent crystal which is kept here, and on the back portion of it I am covering it with my blue handkerchief. Then the people who are sitting in the front, they are seeing that the crystal is all blue. They are unaware, the crystal is not blue, the crystal is still colorless and transparent, but it has acquired the color of the external limiting agent. That external limiting agent, that is that flaw that is called Upadhi, which is a technical term in Vedanta. So he says, Pancha koshadi yogena. Because this Atman is united and in the presence of these five koshas, tat tanmaya ivastita. Tanmaya means it has itself become those pancha koshas. When the mind is thinking, it looks that I have become the mind and it is I who am thinking. Not at all. I am conscious of this thought while my mind is thinking. So it looks as if Tanmaya eva. Tanmaya means as if it has completely identified itself and it has become those very koshas. It looks as if it has become the vital breath and it looks it has become the mind. And it looks as if it has become the intellect. When the intellect is functioning, you don't say my intellect is functioning. I am taking the decision. I am sure this is a fact. I don't recognize this is a fact. It is my intellect which has recognized. I am conscious of. There are two functions which are going on, of which we are unaware. So, because of the association with these five koshas, Pancha kosha adi yoge, that is tanmaya ivastita. This Atman, it looks as if it has become one with all those five sheets, with those pancha koshas. Suddha Atma, no, it is wrong. The Atman is pure. The Atman cannot join with anybody. The Atman cannot work with anybody. It alone is. It is pure. Shuddhatma. It has no color. It has no attributes. It has no qualities. There is nothing by which you can recognize it. You can recognize it only by eliminating everything. Then what remains is the Atma. That is the only way. So Shuddhatma. How is it? Yathas Phatikaha. Just like a crystal. What happens to a crystal? Neela Vastradi Yogena. By an association with a blue handkerchief, Neela Vastra, by a blue garment, you are putting a blue cloth behind the crystal. So outside it looks as if the crystal has inhered the quality of the cloth. But the quality of the cloth has not gone into it. It has not permeated through it. It has not interpenetrated into the crystal. It has not interpenetrated into the crystal. It has not gone into its composition. It is all outside. But then it is limiting the colorlessness of the crystal. Similarly, these five koshas, the mind and other things when they are acting, we are imagining that we are that, and as a result, they are all only the external limiting adjuncts which are limiting our infinite capacity. Now we come to the next one. Vapushadibhit koshaihi yuktam yugyavaghatataha atmanapantaram shuddham vivichyatandulam yatha. This he says about the Panchakosha Viveka, the elimination of these five things, how to get the Atman out of these things. He says this you will have to do by proper techniques, by applying rational, logical techniques. That is the only way, no doubt, is an intellectual process initially. And this we have already discussed, but still some of them may not have been on the day which we are discussing. We will just shortly go through it. This has been already read by us in Sri Guru Stuti at page 99. Khadya Utpadya Vishwaman Pravisha Gudhaman Namayadi Kosha Dushajale Kavayo Vivicha Yuktavaghatataha. Almost the same wordings he is using, Yuktavaghatataha. What happens? You have brought the paddy as such. The paddy contains the husk as well as the kernel of rice and soybean. But I don't want the husk. When we are to be fed, they require the pure kernel of the rice itself. Then what you do? In the olden days, we never had such mechanical facilities. So in the houses there used to be a wooden equipment which was known as the mortar and the pestle. There used to be a long iron rod or a partly iron handles, and it used to be some two people will join together. They will thresh it. They will thresh the grains. So avagata means beating, threshing, and then what will happen? The husk will go away. The kernel rises clearly of time. And similarly, just as you use this technique, and here also you have to use the various techniques. Tushadhubihi koshaihi yuktam vapuhu. You see, this body contains these five koshas. Vapuhu means sarira, this body. Koshaihi yuktam. It is united with all these five sheets. It is just like the rice, which is tushadhibihi yuktam tandulam yatha. Tandulam means the rice, the pure rice. Tusha means the husk. Tushadhibihi with the husk and other, any other dust, whatever it could be, along with it. So tushadhibihi yuktam. Now what you do? Vivichya. Now, Vivichya means Viveka. From that the word has come Vivichya. It's the verb. Viveka is the noun. Vivicha means to separate. You have to separate the rice from the various husks. How do you do it? Yukti avadhata. Avadhata by beating it, by threshing. How? I think threshing and thrashing have got almost a similar connotation. So yukti avadhata. Yukti means a mental technique which has to be adopted, a logic, a rational thinking. So it is by way of rational thinking. Well, I think I am the body. I believe that body is my Atma. Then the question comes, look here, all the people who had experienced the highest, like our Brahmananda, or earlier, whether it is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, or go earlier, the sages of yore who have written so many hymns of Rigveda and Yajurveda, they have all categorically stated that Atman never dies. And here is the body which one day leaves. So it can't be the Atma. Apart from that, we say my body. When I say this is my book, then I can't be this. I am the possessor and it's my possession. So when I say my body, obviously it means I cannot be the body is my possession. Like that you have to innovate your own methods of thinking. So you don't go by what is given in the book and go on sitting down, yes, I am not the body, what is number one? So don't get it by heart. In fact, a school room where you just repeat it. You have to use your own imagination, you have to do your own innovation. These are all only guides as to the manner in which your contemplation has to go. So that's the method which is given. These methods are given in detail in 3 of the books. Number 1 is this Taittiriya Upanishad. In Taittiriya Upanishad, in the 2nd chapter, Brahmananda very clearly as to what are these koshas, how to get rid of it. They have all been described so beautifully. As I once told you, each kosha is, each sheet is likened to a bird. And then they describe what is the tail of a bird, what is the right wing of the bird, what is the left wing of the bird. Like that they give a beautiful analogical method of understanding. Now for instance they are telling about this Anandamaya kosha. See, Ananda is the ultimate stage. Earlier there are stages and each stage is a part of it. So when they are talking of this Anandamaya kosha as a bird, he says, Modo Dakshina Paksha, Pramoda Uttara Paksha. Then Priyame Vasiraha, the head. See, there are 3 types of Ananda which you get. The first Ananda is when you hear that Gulab Jamun is a beautiful, it is a very nice, it is one of the sweetest of dishes you can have in India. So, that pleasure which you get by hearing the term Gulab Jamun, that is what is called the Bodha. And at last a friend of yours have brought Gulab Jamun from one of the nice hotels, he has come to your hand. When you saw the Gulab Jamun, your pleasure increases. And that stage has been described as Pramoda. It is the next, you see, there are nuances of expression of the happiness. So Pramoda Uttara Paksha, the one is the left wing of that Anandamaya, the other is the right wing of the Anandamaya. And then what happens is, this is only when it has been brought. Now you have opened it, you have taken it, and a spoon has been given, it is almost in your hand, about to enter your mouth. The pleasure has still further increased, and you are almost satisfied. It is as good as now inside the mouth, and that is called the Priya. And finally, once you put inside, infinite. And Brahmananda, and that is what we call the tail. Brahmapucham Pratishta. That final one is the Brahman, that infinite bliss. And what is a tail? A tail in an aeroplane is an important part which balances the entire aerodynamics, but for which the entire aircraft will fall down. It cannot float in the air. So similarly, the entire bird's important part is that infinite bliss, which sustains all the other types of bliss, those temporary joys. So thus you go on eliminating all these things, and you say that I can't be this, I can't be the intellect, because I am able to see my intellect working, I am able to see my thoughts working, and not only that. If it is Atman, it should remain at all stages. When I am sleeping, neither my mind works, nor my intellect works. Where have they gone? So obviously, it can't be Atman. Like that, you innovate neural logic and rational thinking, and thus eliminate them all. I can't be this Atman. So, vivicchati, this is how Shuddham vivicchati, Antaram, it is much inside. Atmanam Antaram, go sheath after sheath, and finally, when you are able to penetrate to the last, Antaram, in the innermost you will find that Atman which is pure, unsullied, untainted by any of the characteristics of any of the koshas. That you will be able to find. Now, we come to the next thing. Sada sarvagato vyatma na sarvatra vadhasate buddha veva vadhasete svacheshu pratibimbavati. Now, a question is raised by somebody. You are saying that Atman is everywhere. If Atman is everywhere, then it should be capable of being seen by all the people at all times. Why should we say only that man who sits, contemplates for years or perhaps for several births, and then who is able to take out shred by shred, sheath by sheath, and thus who finds the Atman, he only finds it. Then what about others? Why should it be that everybody cannot see that? Why only certain people are able to see that, why certain people are not able to see, and at the same time you are saying that Atman is everywhere. Sada sarvagata. Atma, the Atma, Sada at all times it will be seen. And you say it can only be seen during your meditation, during your contemplation. Why not at all times? I should be able to see it when I am asleep. I should be able to see it when I am talking to you. So Sada, at all times, Sarvagataha api, it is everywhere. This is what the scriptures talk. So even according to the scriptures, even though Atman is at all times, it is supposed to be existent. It is considered as existence itself, a permanent existence. And when it is Sarvagataha, it is omnipresent, it is present everywhere. Then sarvatra navabhasate. It doesn't shine everywhere. Only a few people, we have few yogis, we have few adepts, we have few siddhas, we have few aspirants who have gone to that stage. They are only able to see. Then why does it shine in all? Is the question. He says, yes, it is because buddha veva avadhaseta Svacheshu pratibimbavati. Supposing I am seeing my here, these are polished, say inside our shrine, our Bhagavan shrine, it is also beautiful. Sometimes when they watch it, immediately you go and see, you can see your own image on the floor. But here, I am not able to see my image on this floor. Why is it? Because this is full of various other matters, some extraneous matters, some depth, etc. is there. So wherever there is a polished surface, or wherever there is a polished mirror, free from all that, there only you can see your image. If that mirror is supposed to be full of dirt and dust, you may stand before it even for 2 hours, you won't be able to see your own image. So when it is Swacha means free from dirt and pure. Pratibimba Vat means just like. It is just like the image of an object where Swacheshu. He has not given exactly what is that one. He has only given an adjective. He has only said in those things which are free from dirt and which are pure. So you could take it either as a surface, beautifully polished surface, or sheer mirror, which is free from dirt. So in all these places you can see. Similarly, Swachha Buddhav Eva Avabhasita. Only in the intellect which becomes pure. Pure means free from ignorance, free from the ego, which understands that everything is only the universal, there is no individual. And that state of the intellect, you call it as pure. So only in those pure intellects, whoever has been able to make it pure by eliminating the ego, by eliminating this individual concept, and by knowing that he is the part of the universal. You cannot even call it the part. The universal alone is. There is no part, it has no part. A part definitely means that it is something different from the whole. If my hand is a part, my hand is different from the head. My hand is different from the eye. So it is only a part of the whole, but each part is different from each. But when you bring some Ganges water, even in a drop, all the qualities of the entire whole is there, not even a drop is different from the whole. So you call it as the whole, you don't call it as a part. Buddha Deva Avabhaseta. So it will be shining only in Swachha Buddhi. Swacheshu Guha, no doubt. The adjective was meant for the object, so as it is happens to be in plural. And the Buddha, it happens to be in singular, but we have to think it. That means it will shine only in the pure intellect. How? Just like an image of an object can be clearly seen only in the polished surface of a mirror in the same way. Now 18 we will just read and stop. Dekendriyapno buddhi prakrtibhyo vilakshanam tadvritti sakshinam vidyati Atmanam Rajabhatsada. Now just as I was telling, you have to think that the Atman is absolutely separate from all these things. It is separate from the mind because it is able to see the mind. It is able to see your thoughts. What I am thinking I can do. What's my thought? That means the watcher is different from that which is watched.